Footsteps meet on hardwood floors, laughter spilling from the doors. Different tongues but hearts the same, learning life beyond the name. At the International English Cafe, talk your troubles right away, sip your tea and stories play. At the International English Cafe.
Hi everyone, my name is Thanh, and welcome to the International English Cafe meeting. So today is is Friday evening in the Western Hemisphere, Saturday morning in the Eastern Hemisphere. Today's topic is comments, questions, and thoughts. So this is a topic in which we can provide the members an opportunity to bring up topics that they would like to talk about, or maybe they have an interest in, or they could bring up questions that they may have, just any question. So today's topic is comments, questions, and thoughts. So you can treat this kind of like a free talk session, but ideally, we would like to either bring up topics that you're either interested in or would like to talk about, or if you have any particular questions, this is a good time to ask away. So, is there anything that anybody would like to bring up? Juan, you want to say something?
Yes. For example, for me, it's the topic very interesting. For example, in the viewpoint, the people, the other country, in relation the change, in this moment in this world. For example, the influence the artificial intelligence, influence the technology. It's interesting. View the points the people, the other countries. For example, Math, or for example, Dyana. What is the consequence in your country, this change, no? For example, in my country, in Mexico, or the people, they study this situation, no? For example, in the morning, I listen the one interview and say in this moment the change the artificial intelligence, it's very important for the all countries. Why? For the artificial intelligence change the world, the all people in the world. For example, maybe make different things in one company, and this company not use 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I don't know. But what is your opinion, no? The people that live in other countries in this change, in this moment, and it's good, thought it's good. I don't know, the effect in your family, this technology, or no reading books in this moment. It's very interesting for me, no? And I believe this change affect and all countries, and affect the works, the all countries, no? It's very interesting. Listen this situation, no? The consequence, the advance, the technology. Thank you, Tango.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. How's technology the influences of technology in your own country? So, how does everybody feel about that?
Well, for me, it's positive and negative. The positive thing is AI can really help me find some materials that I need, and even modify the materials for me. But the problem is it can produce some hoax. It can threaten some people's well-beings because of the hoax that look really real, and some people cannot see the difference between hoax and the real thing, and it really threatened the well-being of people in general, and it has been happening also. People tend to believe more in the hoax. That's so scary. They do not want to bother themselves to look for uh, the 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 truth behind the hoax. They do not want to check. They are, I think, people is people are uh, prone to accepting hoax, and that's so scary. And we really have to be really careful with AI. That's right.
That's a good point. Yeah, like sometimes some people may fall for some of these, hoax, and some of them honestly just want to even buy into it, whether or not it is a, falsehood or some sort, right? So that's a pretty scary thought, indeed.
There are a lot of things like that in YouTube videos, if you notice. Some stories about the famous people, uh, leaders, um, royal families, and when we go check, that's not even the reality. They took some facts and they like uh, improvise the facts so that their YouTube channel would monetize better by using AI or to benefit from the monetization. But I heard that if a YouTube video is 100% AI, it's not gonna monetize. Well, I'm glad it is like that because we cannot give money to people who lie, who
Mhm.
bring hoax, and they will benefit from the internet money and even from us, the viewers. That's really scary.
That is true. Plus, too, like there's a difference between those that actually put in their hard work making authentic content versus those that have literally AI do everything for them to make their content, or just the AI itself makes the content and then that's their video, right? And the those that put in the honest hard work into making their content, I would would more apt to want to watch their content more. There's a sense of realism to it. Um, but then AI is getting better and better in seeming realistic, right? So we're living in an interesting time with AI and technology. Indeed.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, how about everybody else?
I have been dealing with technology for all my life. My first contact with a computer was a Commodore 64. I have maybe 14 years. If you realize that I am 56, realize that all my life I'm dealing with technology. When I was a kid, we don't have cell phones. We just have landlines in your own home. But I think in this life, let's say in this life, doesn't survive the more strong or the more intelligent. Survives who try to adapt to the change and to try to do the things according to the tools that the lives give you or the technology gives you. In the particular case in the AI, for me, is a big ally for my job. I learned to programming with a lot of lines of coding But nowadays, I take this to the AI. Listen, this is my code, but I think it's very long. Please, there is some way to create a short code. Oh, yes, of course. Instead of write 500 lines of code, I used to write 10 or 20. So it's an advantage for that. We are living with AI for many years, but we don't know. These programs that create your, let's say, the payroll, or if you are good for a credit or not, these are AI for many years. I am using Wave for at least 50 years. Is AI too. 15 years is a too. But nowadays we are more close to the AI for different things, and you have to take advantage of the AI. Try to given the opportunity to the AI. They could be your assistants. They could be take all your records, your medical records, and give you advices of some things. But remember, in this life, you are the human being. You are in charge. You are not a robot. You have the power of analyze the information that give you. Don't believe everything that the AI told you. Maybe there is a mistake on that. I think the AI is a big lie, but you have to write the correct, let's say, prompt. In this case, it's the prompt to the AI to create something. So you don't have to pretend to be a programmer and let's say, oh, I want to up with that. You have to say to the AI, create me a model and with these controllers and then with these views and everything. So you have to first read how to say something. The other day, I was checking app in my cell phone, and it's about the translating. You can talk with somebody in another language, and they try, but it's translating. It's not communicating. Human beings, we are created this good thing that is communicating. It's not just to talk with your words, it's talk with your body. And your body tells you more than you are saying. The machines can do that. The AI can do that. The AI don't create things that the humans can create. So you have to think in the AI like an ally, help. But now pretend that AI, if you sending a picture of a fungus, and it will tell you the truth, it is poison or not. So you need your common sense to do that. So I think in this moment, the technology is more, maybe because we are full of information. You open your cell phone and you see all the news in another country, the new technologies, the new problems too. I remember when I was kid was an earthquake in Greek, or I don't remember but it was in Europe. And I realized that 2 days after that. And I remember since I was a kid, I am a big fan of Formula One. And you can see the races live. You knew the results of the race the other day in the newspapers. So these races were held on Sundays, and you know who wins until Monday or Tuesday. That's the difference today. You can, in this moment, thank you to the technology, you can stay inside of the car of your racer, that you favor a racer, and watch the only race. So this is a big advantage for me. So for understand this moment, you have to think in the past. So it's something like you have to take advantage of that. It's something that is coming to your country. You can deny, use it or not in one moment of your life we are using. And the good thing is we can talk with somebody for different countries. I'm in my country in this moment. In this moment, it's 9 o'clock in the night. Maybe you are in the morning on Saturday. And we can share our thoughts. You can gain friends, and you can talk about different topics with people in another part of the world.
Yeah.
30 years ago, this was impossible. Nowadays it's possible about it. So we have to take advantage for that. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time.
It is something to take advantage of. And honestly, I didn't realize that it's been going on for like the past, 15 or like AI has been around for quite a bit longer than we thought. Wow, that's a little bit mind-blowing. But interesting to know. Seems like the technology for a lot of these things have been around for quite a while. It's just that it's only getting around to now that we're starting to, it's being provided for the masses at this point, right? So, you can only imagine what kind of new technology that's not available to the masses yet. And, we might, there might be some more surprising things to come. So very interesting. So anybody else with thoughts regarding, the influences of technology in your country?
Hi, Thanh. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Diana.
Okay, thank you, Thanh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt, for giving me the first chance because I know you want to speak also. Yeah, at first I would say that no doubt that high technology right now, or specifically about AI, is very important for everybody. Even you are not working, or like me, I'm a housewife or as a mother. I'm not working in the office right now because I'm retired. I was retired. So, of course, no doubt, all of us agree that technology, specifically AI, that was very, useful for any purpose. Like me, I just want to say something that don't trust at all or 100% for whatever people post or saying, because sometimes they are using AI. That means not originally. One thing, even me, that was one of a silly thing or funny thing. Nowadays, because the AI, whenever I'm taking picture, I use let's say the apps that make filters for my photo, something like that. If there is a 0 to 100 scale, and then I make it like 30 or 40% of the filters. That means whenever I made a picture and then I show my picture, it was not real actually, because I used apps to make it filter, and I really like to see that. I think that was also one of the example that using AI, I'm not saying it's like manipulated, but to make us really like or happy with that, even though it was not real, right? And the same thing when I was seeing or when I was looking for others' picture, in my mind, that was probably, not 100%, because all of us using filters, for example, when taking picture, but that was make me, how to say, like not addicted, but I set up my mobile phone with the filters whenever I taking picture. In this case, just small case, I think, but especially for the women, they really like to see their picture because probably it looks like more beautiful, I think. And the same thing, how to say, like that means nowadays I'm not really sure for every posted on social media, because I believe that some of them are not originally. So again, just want to just want to warn us that not make sure or 100% for everything that you show on the picture or on the social media. That was one of the effect of using AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Use of filters. That's a good one to point out. I mean, especially filters have been around for, well, I can't even remember how long. I mean, like we used to have Snapchat, or I mean, we still have Snapchat, and I think what filters might have became more popularized through Snapchat. They might have been popular through, I guess, other apps too, but I think Snapchat was the one that started things off. So definitely, just the use of that could change things. I know for me, from when I post pictures, most of my pictures tend to be nature sceneries. So I don't really need to, or filters won't really work because there's no person there. But I've been playing around with doing certain things. Like for example, like I'll take like a video recording and then I'll do a time lapse, right? Because I thought some of that might look cool. So there's stuff like that. I mean, and that's technology, right? Like naturally, you don't have a recording that's sped up that way, right? You have to use some sort of program to, alter the video in order to create that time lapse, right? So there's lots of other ways to, edit and alter your content, whether it's a picture or video or anything of that sort. Whether it's filters or whether it's other types of like they have all sorts of like features and functions on your phone just to, help you alter your pictures in some way, or even remaster them or something to that effect, right? So, technology has gone quite a long ways just for the content creation of things. It's quite amazing. So yeah, let's see. Anybody else want to comment on this?
Then I
Yeah,
would
go
like to
ahead.
ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
Not so long ago, you talk about airspace. That means you work at the airspace company?
Aerospace. Yeah, I work in an aerospace company.
Aerospace company. So in data, it was in data what? Data, your job, previously your job.
Yes, like I'm still working at an aerospace company. I've been in this industry for about 20 years.
Oh my God. So what's your job there? An engineer?
Well, I used to be a project engineer. I'm currently an analyst in financial reporting.
Wow, wow.
I was working as a project engineer for what, over 16, 17 years. And
Oh
then
wow.
like
Oh,
for the
amazing.
past few years, I've been doing an analyst in financial reporting. It's quite the interesting change for one, since one, I studied for an MBA, and using my MBA, I was able to then land that career in the financial field. There is some similarities or some connections between project engineering and financial industry, because there's the aspect of how to uh, what is a budget, how to uh, basically plan out your budget, and from there, like what is an actual, what is an estimate to completion or estimate at completion, right? Things of that nature, right? And then when you then analyze the financial aspect of things,
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
where I
yeah.
find it interesting because now you're marrying the engineering and the financial
Uh,
aspect, right? So with this financial data, then it can provide indicators of what may be going on in terms of the engineering world. Like, why are you overspending? Why are you underspending? Right? What's going on here? And then like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Um,
okay, yeah, I see, I see. Because sometimes I wonder, when you launch space aircrafts on the Earth, not on the Earth, on space,
yeah.
what is the advantages? For example, Elon Musk, when he launched fusee on the space,
Mhm.
how that company make money? Sometimes because he doesn't sell some product. You understand that? It doesn't sell some product like maybe like cookies or like donuts.
Yeah.
Just the fact to launch aircrafts on the space,
Yeah.
how is profitable for his company? Sometimes I wonder what's the purpose of that, the goal.
So, in terms of what you're referring to, well, for me, I'm working more specifically with airplane engines. So,
Okay, okay,
it's not necessarily space aircraft, but even
okay.
then, if we were to look into space aircrafts, right? With that, the money ideally may come from the government or some agency like that, which then pays that company to then build such type of products like a spaceship or what have you, right? And from there, even though you might not benefit from it from you know having to be able to sell it or anything that nature. I mean, there are some entities or companies that are trying to make a little bit of money out of it. For example, like say um, Elon Musk um, with his company SpaceX, I think, or with Jeff Bezos with Blue Origins, things like that. What they would do is they would then put themselves on the news, right? They would garner views and attention, which then makes them more popular and then kind of put their name out there, right? And then that in itself becomes part of their branding. And if for branding, that's how they kind of make their money because from there,
Uh,
then like whatever other products that they may be selling, they have there's some sort of association you can attach to it, right? So there's some examples like that, but for the most part, it would just be like uh, either it's the government agency or some company like that where they're building something that is for the government or for some sort of other entity similar to that. And what they'll do is they'll do their space launches. It'll be for more of a R&D type thing or for research purpose or exploration purposes to see what's out there because whatever may be out there could be valuable like rare minerals, right? Rare materials of some sort that could be used to then for us to build our products or to do whatever it may be, right?
okay, okay. Thank you very much for your
So
understand. Thank
there's
you.
a lot of that. It's much more forward thinking in terms of what you might be able to gain, but in the interim, there's a way to sensationalize that to like kind of get that on the news or things of that nature. And there's ways to monetize off of that too, which I might not be familiar with how that might be monetized, but there could be ways to monetize off of that, or maybe other people are monetizing it and you're just building up branding, which then eventually leads to monetization, something in that respect.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yep. For me personally, in terms of airplane engines, um, like I get to see a lot, like over the past 20 years worth of doing this, I get to see a bunch of interesting things. For example, um, there's like a video that we got to watch where it shows like a cross section of the engine. They throw a frozen bird into it. And the video is in slow-mo. So you see the fan blades go like this, like basically it's rotating. And it's like the bird, right? The bird is going to go, it's like literally the bird's going like this, and it's right. 2/3 of the way in, it's like this combustor, and it goes, and whatever got sliced up now is roasted, and it goes out the back end, right? So the reason why for this design is because imagine you're in a plane. There's like about 100, 200 of you in that plane, and you're going up to the skies, and a bird gets caught into the engine. Now, if you
Bad
want,
situation.
right? So in this case, do you want all 200 people to die, or would
No,
you
no,
just want
no.
the poor birdie to die, right?
Just a pervert.
And
Yeah.
it's sad to say, but sometimes like they in many airports they try to have these type of like radio waves or signals or something like that to kind of deter the birds from being around the airports so that airplanes can safely take off. But even then too, like sometimes you might have a random stray bird that's just around the area and then they get sucked into the engine, right? There's like lots of movies where you may see like, like a fight scene between two guys and then they're like right by an engine or they're like on the engine, like, for example, like Die Hard 2, right? Like they're literally on like the plane's going up in the sky already and they're literally fighting on the wing of the plane and then the one guy gets sucked in, right? Like there's all sorts of weird things, but that's why the engine's designed the way it is, because if anything happens to that engine, it fails. And then the plane either has the other engine to try to keep it going, or you're going to go down. And if there's no safe place to land, you might start causing damage to all the surrounding areas or all the things that's on the ground, which may be even more catastrophic. Right. So now instead of just the 200 people in the plane that might be affected, now you might be affecting a whole populace of people on the ground just because of one bird. And that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
So, but it was a rather interesting test, like that I got to see. It was pretty cool. You get to see other cool things of that nature, but that's one example. So in my head, it's kind of like, they're slicing up chicken meat and then they roast it at the back end. You just need a couple of breads to make it into a sandwich and you're good. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any particular topics or questions they would like to bring up?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The technology right now is very advanced. It can save a plane, save the lives of the people by preventing the fall or accidents of the plane. But in Indonesia, we just had a plane accident again. And it is not because we have no technology, but I think the technology needs an update, or I'm not sure, or because of the difficulty of the route. For example, the plane just hit a mountain in the heavy fog. So I think, well, thanks to the advanced technology, but I think we just also have to be really careful because we cannot fight the nature sometimes. What do you think?
That is true. Sometimes nature is, the thing that influences and that we can't control that, right? Like there's going to be a weird gust of wind that might come our way, right? Or there could be a temperature drop or temperature increase that is very sudden. There'd be a lot of things that could happen. It could hail randomly in the sky, right? Like there's big chunks of hail just falling down, and it could be summer, right? But then these big golf ball size ice, or ice, like these ice balls the size of golf balls, right, could be coming down, and just one of them falling down hitting your head is enough to kill you. It's pretty dangerous, but there's sometimes like random accidents like that could happen. Or it could be that, like, if it rains acid rain. So then, like, it starts to then lead to like the deterioration of certain housing or forests or other things like that, because how acidic you know the condensates are, right? So, but there's certain things that sometimes we can't really control nature, although, like, some people like to buy into this idea that we can control the weather, which is like, I don't, that's not how that works. I think we can
Yeah,
predict weather, like, maybe pretty well, but controlling it would be a different story.
that's right.
There was in some of my calls in the past, I would mention something about me, like one of the professions that I would have liked to, or like when I was young, I wish I was a weatherman, right? So talks about weather is something that's kind of right up my alley. It came from my the I was heavily influenced by the water cycle and learning about the water cycle, right? So you basically have rivers and oceans, and then you have the sun heating those water sources, and then the water vapors goes up to the sky. Eventually, like when you get higher into the sky, like higher in the sky is like, you have a cold, like the temperature gets colder, right? And depending on the atmospheric pressure, if the atmospheric pressure gets heavier, then all of a sudden, like, increased pressure, increased temperature, right? And then all of a sudden some of that water vapors turns into water droplets, right? And then you start to have rain clouds, and then it starts to rain down, right? And it goes down like the mountains and streams down and everything, and it goes back up again for the water cycle, right? So that's kind of like where my thing for being in weather came into play. So thought it was very interesting, especially when I started to learn chemistry with PV equals nRT. Pressure times volume equals the number of moles times the gas rate constant times temperature, right? That's the gas law equation. So still remember that till this day. So, the usefulness overall is just seeing that pressure and volume are indirectly proportional, whereas pressure and temperature are directly proportional, volume and temperature are directly proportional. It's good to like know stuff like that. So then you can intuitively start to think about how things around us work, right? So like, turning on a faucet for water, right? And then how all that flows, and then starting to see how just even that starts to influence. Like, we turn on the faucet, we put some water into the pot, and we put the pot onto the stove, and then we start boiling the water. So that at that point, now you're increasing temperature, right? The volume is semi closed because you have basically almost all the sides closed except for the top, because you didn't put the lid on. But once you put the lid on your pot, and then you're boiling the water, now like you have a closed space, like basically a set volume and pressure, or sorry, a set volume, and then the temperature is increasing. So then what's happening to the pressure? Pressure will increase too, right? Because now the gas inside from boiling the water, now you're creating gas vapors, and it's going to expand. So it's going to, so that's increase of pressure. It's weird things like that, but like chemistry is always happening around us, especially when we're cooking. Okay, I think that's kind of boring, but like,
No.
but that's where my love of chemistry came into play.
So I realize you are really knowledgeable in sciences. in science? Do you like science?
When I was growing up, yeah, like I was always interested. I think I was more into math rather than science, but um, you know, after math, science was the next subject that I like more. I just
Yeah.
like seeing how things work, and I think that's
But
amazing.
most of people don't like mathematics because for me it was too abstract. So you don't know why you study mathematics. You don't know what is the purpose but when you study mathematics. But if mathematics is applied for for a specific purpose, now for me mathematics is more interesting.
Yeah,
So because you know what you are doing, you know why you learn mathematics. But when I was younger, I used to 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 my teacher used to teach me, used to taught we used to teach me mathematics, but for me it was too abstract, like cosinus. Do you know cosinus? Have you ever heard about that?
cosines,
Cosinus?
cosinus.
Yeah.
Science, yes.
Maybe it's because it's French, because it's okay. In English, it's another thing. With the triangle rectangle.
Like geometry, I guess,
Yeah.
with like
Mathematics.
squares. It's like triangles, squares, and
Yeah,
rectangles
yeah.
and shapes and
Triangle,
stuff.
square. Yeah, those things. Sometimes I wonder what's the purpose of that. So a square plus b square. You
Mhm.
understand that? A
Yeah, the
plus b
Pythagorean
square.
theorem.
Yeah, those kind of things. Sometimes I wonder what's the purpose of that. Why in school they touch us that because in real life you don't see the utility. So when math is applied for something that you can really know the purpose, I think it's more easy to understand what you are doing. But when it is too much abstract, sometimes people are really get bored about that.
Mm. I can see that.
That's why for
Go ahead,
mathematics.
Diana.
Yeah, thank you, Thanh. It was really nice to hear about whatever you said or whatever you talk, especially about the technique or kind of chemistry, something like that. Even sometimes it was hard to follow. Yeah, yeah, it's because of technically, right? And I do with Kyle that say most people or most students they don't like math or science, even science, yeah. And honestly, me personally, from the very beginning when I was at school, I really like math. I don't know why, and because I think it's like logically not to memorize all the things like history. So I really appreciate for the student or that they really like to to learn or how to say to memorize all the history, and they took social or history subject because I think that was very hard. Depend on me, so it depends on how people perceive about the subject. But for me, math was one of the logically subject that no need to think first, no need to think fast, or no need to think hard, I mean. And if I imagine, of course at that time there was no high technology, internet, mobile phone, something like that. So I remember I really hard to, let's say, to know about anything math or even science at that time. If I compare to now, oh my God, it was so easy because we have a lot of apps that can help us. No need to learn too much or too hard. But because again it depends on what you really like, so that's why I think for me at that time it was not so big problem until I got or went to university, and then I chose a chemical engineering at that time. You can imagine how hard it was, but yes, again, I could pass it as well. So yeah, if I compare to the student right now, even my children, oh my God, they don't have enough effort to catch about their study, something like that. Again, thank you so much for high technology right now, because it's really useful for every student actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? In terms of their thoughts with I guess we're going into a whole bunch of things, but this technology, math. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. I have some talk to technology that we mentioned about math, chemistry, or science. That I think it will develop next that case very strong, and that will be helpful for modern life to explain some secret from now. We didn't know how it occurs. I look like a lot about scientists, and I am just following about the kind of astronaut from scientists who develop how we can find alien on the sky, and we can explore which one planet we can have second backup for our life for the human in next maybe 1,000 years or more than 1,000 years when our Earth destroyed. And that I love very much because I think technology will rise the people to achieve the success maybe next 100 years. And right now I can talk commonly our life, and look like it's helpful for us head up. I do remember in COVID-19. I think that time we were changing our habit. Not only we apply order something in the market, but now we change to use the app and to order online.
Mm-hmm.
And that very comfortable and convenient for the human to do something. And I think it's also very good, to save time, save cost. Look like if we go to offline market, we have to buy gasoline for vehicle, right? And we can buy some free as well. And another one that I can get a sample that from my kid. And normally in the last time in my sample, I got him to English center study applies after class. But now I don't need to get him to apply class, and he now study online class that he can save a lot of time for him and also money as well. And I can talk to my country because my country is developing about technology and also AI as well. And look like we talk about the personal information. you can say on the VNEID Vietnamese app, because the government they kind of motivate Vietnamese citizens to should say our information on that app, because when the necessary time you can upload to the list or whatever, and look like I can update my driver license information on that app, and my identification also on that app, and my call information also on that app, and my insurance version also on that app. And when I go to hospital, and I can stop, my phone string to the doctor, and then they can, everything my information. No need to have hot paper to show up for them, campaign the bad exam. But one thing I think is have a lot of positiveness for the AI and technology, but also have negative side from AI and technology. I feel that I'm so lazy when I have AI and high technology I'm using, because sometimes kind of I can tell you that when I study English, when I get a new vocabulary and combine the background, I must be, kind of look at the dictionary and find out the meaning of my language. But now I know it. I just ask, AI robot, and how does it mean? Then they can answer me quickly, 2 seconds or 1 second only. And I think it's so grateful, so kind of awesome, in modern life for me. But I think it makes me stay a bit more and lazy more. Yeah, that sometimes I lazy. It look like I have to go to my traditional market to buy something that I can exercise in working. But actually nowadays I don't need to go. I don't need to work. But I stay at home, and then I use AI or technology, and I use it online, and make me more lazy, more stupid. Yeah, that's my opinion. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's more feedback regarding, technology and AI, and like the pluses and minuses of it all. So we can kind of see this is an environment that we're all trying to navigate, right? So it's not like, not like something that, has been out for quite a while. It's, hasn't been like a full century yet since some of this stuff came out, right? Like back in the day, we still had rotating phones. Television did not exist yet, like over 100 years ago, right? Things of that nature. So, and it's only until like more recently then like we started to have like things like television, microwaves, and whatnot. The telephone just became a new thing. Like you had to like, dial the operator, and then the operator would connect you. And then eventually they had the rotating dial, which then you can start, having phone numbers and calling people, right? So it's kind of interesting.
Words collide like fiddles hum, every accent's welcome some. Round the table, dreams are shared, across the world and love is aired. At the International English Cafe, talk your troubles right away, sip your tea, let stories play. At the International English Cafe, we don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy quarter lamp. Face to face we find the way. globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork lives with thread we weave, stories told when you believe. At the International English Cafe, words align like fiddles hum. At the International English Cafe, words collide like fiddles hum. Every accent's welcome some. Round a table, dreams are shared. Across the world and love is aired. Our love is aired. Across the world and love is aired. Across the world and love is aired. English Cafe. We don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy corner lamp. Face to face we find the way in a little cafe day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. Here's your face, we find the way in a little cafe day after day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork little cafe day. Hey, accent charts might trace the globe. We don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy corner lamp. Face to face we find the way in a little cafe day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork lives with thread we weave, stories told